Welcome back to your favorite podcast, period, but especially your favorite podcast in Kenya, Movie Buffs. You guys know the drill by now, but if you don't, hey, welcome. My name is Kui. Over here, this gorgeous man next to me is Wilson Mwangemi, my boyfriend slash co-host.
Say my whole name.
You know, it's fine. Oh, your name. It's a good name. It's a good name. I'm sorry. You're trying to be off the grid? My mom would be like that. My mom is like, what? Like, she's like very anti-social media, and so she's always like, no, like I'm not trying to be on there. You know, you don't know who's looking for. I don't know who's looking for my mom. Are you looking for my mom? Anybody looking for Nancy White? Ain't nobody looking for Nancy White but me. Really. Anyways, here's my gorgeous co-host slash boyfriend, Will. Hey.
Thank you.
And here at Movie Buffs, we talk about all things movies and TV in Kenya and beyond. And today, we are talking about TV, the movie pitches, not the movie pitches, TV. Yeah. I wanted to do an old-timey 1930s voice, but I was like, oh, there was no TV then. So it went awry. Anyways.
We're focusing on TV today, guys.
We are focusing on TV today. So let's talk about it. I don't know about you guys, but I watched a lot of TV when I was young. Like, I was very much like, you know, I'm a 90s baby. So it was very much like my parents stuck me in front of a TV. They're like, you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Then they left.
Yeah.
So I spent my days, first it was Barney, then it was like, you know, SpongeBob, and it was like, you know, Out of the Box and all of that's a deep cut. If you know it, you a real one.
Yeah.
And all of these shows. And then that just became, that habit really followed me throughout my childhood of just like finding comfort in TV shows, finding comfort in sort of the tradition of like sitting on the couch, getting a snack, throwing on a movie. Like that was always something comforting and fun to me.
Yeah.
And so that has definitely rippled throughout my life. And so TV's always played like a really big role. What about you? Were you like a big like TV kind of kid?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in the 90s.
Also.
As most of us did. Well, we were born in the 90s. So, yeah, there was no internet and any of that stuff those days.
Kids don't know about that.
The only thing that you could do like for like viewing entertainment was TV.
Yeah.
It was basically the only thing. TV and like video games. So I did a lot of both. I was basically raised on TV. And what's actually interesting, I grew up when I was a baby, I grew up in Morocco. Mm-hmm. And Morocco is a French-speaking country. So everything on TV is dubbed in French. Like all the English things are dubbed in French. So I was watching all those cartoons, those 90s cartoons in French. Oh, yeah. So I was watching like Dexter in French, Powerpuff Girls, all those like ones that are from like the late 90s.
Would they change the titles or would they just change?
To be honest, I don't really remember that. To be honest, but I think the titles were what they normally were.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure about that, but yeah, like I remember like moving to now a place where it's English, like and okay. I remember going to my friend's house. In Morocco and watching their TV and being like, why is Dexter speaking English?
Oh.
Yeah, and like,
cute.
why does his voice sound like that?
Yeah.
So like, you know, I was like literally on the French, yeah.
Do you remember like the first TV show that you watched where you actually could like retain that memory?
The memory of like watching the show?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of those cartoons, honestly.
Right.
I can't say which one.
Yeah. I think that mine is Barney. I think that was Barney for me was the first time that like a TV show like moved me, like influenced me. The kids be saying these days like, oh, like it's my new personality. Like that was very much me with Barney. Like I was like again. Like that purple dinosaur had me in a tizzy. Like I was like again.
Did you watch the cartoon version?
No, I used to watch the live action version.
Oh, you never seen the cartoon one? Yeah, I've seen both. I mean,
you know, like
I remember things like what's that thing with those like big, they're like those creatures.
Teletubbies?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, iconic.
I was heavy on that when I was small.
Which was your favorite Teletubby?
I think it's the red one. Yeah, the red guy.
Yeah. I liked Poe.
But you know, like, weren't they? I swear, I saw something saying that they were like genderless.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually genderless.
They had no genitals.
Yeah,
very wholesome.
Because I used to be like that pink one is the girl. Because it's because of the voices though also.
The voices also, you know, we grew up in that era where it was like, oh, if you're like, you know, we had the girly colored things and the boy colored things. So like, you know.
But yeah, you know, things like that.
Things like that,
Those
yeah,
are
for
things
sure.
that I really remember. I remember also I had the the movie VCR for Barney.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember those things. Yeah.
Classic
but like,
days.
Mostly like now a bit after that. So like stuff like Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Right.
Powerpuff Girls.
Ed, Ed
Dexter,
and Eddie.
Yeah. Those cartoons now.
Yeah.
Are the ones like Kids Next Door.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah.
Those
the early 90s, a little blurry. I mean, we were super young. It
early
makes
90s,
sense.
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones.
Yeah. So if you watched our first episode of this new season, oh my God, let's try that again. My brain just stopped loading. If you watched our first episode, if you haven't yet, make sure you go watch it. You know, we're talking about how like this new season of the show is going to be more about our lives, more about who we are, giving you guys an inside look into us as people, as well as our opinions.
Because we're so interesting.
Yeah, we thought it'd be really fun to talk about the TV shows that defined us in our youth.
Yeah.
I just, again, like TV show meant so much to both of us growing up. And so it felt like, let's have some fun. Let's talk about some 2000s things.
Yeah.
And, you know, the first stop really there is like Disney Channel. Because, like, I don't know about you, but, like, I'm a Disney girl.
Yeah.
I love Disney Channel. To me, was like revolutionary.
Yeah.
I was
we
what
both
the
grew
hell?
up on that. Yeah.
So good. I remember like discovering it for the first time and being like, oh my God, like it's all which honestly, if you think about it, like kind of revolutionary. No, like
it was because we were used to watching those like Disney movies.
Right.
And you know what I mean, like all the ones from the 90s, like Lion King, like all those, you know, we're used to that being what Disney was. And then like, okay, I don't know how it was for everyone else, but for me now, like being like slightly a bit older and like now being on TV and seeing there's a whole Disney Channel, there's a whole like TV channel dedicated for things like that. Like it was actually revolutionary.
I even think like in that era too, at least, you know, same thing as you. I can only speak for me. I was really used to like watching like my shows like on networks that had lots of other things for other demographics. So like let's say like an ABC Family where they have stuff for like older people and younger people. So I was used to like, oh, okay, like on this network there's probably like one or two shows like for me, right? Disney Channel comes and it's like everything is for you. We got this show, these ads,
whole
this thing.
Channel.
The whole thing is perfectly tailored for like an age group.
Right.
That I thought was so cool at the time.
It's actually cool because like even like I remember like here in Kenya, like you would like come home from school, and then like you're on like Nation on NTV, and then like it would be cartoons for like 2 hours or something, But then like Disney Channel, it's like the whole day,
time.
the whole night. It's just for kids. Yeah.
So I'll say, for me, one of the shows that defined me for sure was That's So Raven. I mean, first of all, just like the iconicness of it being a black girl, like top billing, the show's named after her, she's the head honcho, like that, just like for me, you know, representation matters, people. And so for me, like just seeing that and seeing her be so funny and so smart and so compassionate, like it was very like, oh my gosh, like I think that was the first time where I was like, oh, I see myself in a character. And really like definitely for sure had a huge effect on my personality. Like I was like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Corey, gotta go. I gagged. I like honestly like who is better than motherfucking Raven Simone? Like who is better? Who is better? Who is better? Like when we talk about like an entertainer, someone who can dance, someone who can sing, someone who can act, someone who's funny,
I was even gonna
somebody
say
who
that.
can dress, somebody who got a vibe to him. Like they don't make them like that anymore.
I was even gonna say that like that show it was also one of mine. That really like I grew up on, and it was like a huge thing when I was growing up. Me and my brother it was like our favorite thing to watch, and I really like what you were saying. Like Raven Simone has all these talents, and it's all throughout the show, and that's so interesting because even a couple of the other characters are like that. Like the character who's Chelsea, I always forget her name.
Annalise Vanderpool, shout out to her.
My boy. Orlando Brown.
Orlando Brown.
Like,
oh my God.
Just watch, like, you know, rewatching That's a Raven episodes. It's crazy because, like, it's so, like, sometimes, like, there was that one episode, there was just, like, musicals the whole episode. And it's just so cool, man. Like, it was also a vibe in the, like, if you're really someone who grew up in the 2000s, like, that show, like, you just know, you just understand. Like,
it's so good. I mean, just everything, honestly, so we were rewatching, we're actually still kind of in the middle of rewatching That's So Raven, like, now. And let me tell you something, that show show has aged very well. Like, it's legitimately funny. I will say some of the things that probably haven't aged as well are like the kind of like gross humor, like, oh, like farting, haha, so funny, or like, oh, like eating this gross shit. Like, that's a little bit like old school for sure. Like, that's a little antiquated. But the humor, the gags, the situation, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's done so well. And I just think, I mean, the three of them, Annalise Vanderpool, Raven Simone, and Orlando Brown, like, what a fucking dream team.
Yeah.
What a dream team. Like, they're just so, the physical comedy, the delivery, the comedic, everything, like, on the fact that they were like 14, 15, 16 doing that is honestly really fucking impressive.
And another thing I'll say, like, we have another Disney show on the list.
Yeah.
Disney shows, like, from those days, they just have, like, really good writing, man.
Yeah.
Like, the writing's actually good. Like, the jokes are really good. And then, like, you watch them back as an adult and you're like, wow, when I was a kid, I thought that was funny, but I didn't actually know what that meant.
Yes.
And it's funny in a different way. So, like, I really like that about these shows.
A lot of these shows have those jokes where there's like multi-layers to them. So like on the first layer as a kid, you can understand like, oh, like that's funny on the onset. Then they have this other layer where like, oh, if like you're an adult, like that's that's extra funny, which I think is really, I think that's, as a writer, that's extremely hard to write, at least in my opinion, my experience. And so I'm always really dazzled by stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, just an iconic, great show. I'm sure if you're a 90s baby, 2000s kid like us, then you know what time it is.
Yeah, man.
You know what time it is. That's what Raven was revolutionary for sure.
Yeah. Right. Next, I think I want to talk about Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana.
Yeah, Hannah Montana is a show that I really loved. I still really love it. It's a show I used to watch like every day after school.
Every day.
You know, back in like middle school, early days of high school, I was watching it all the time. Like, it was one of my favorite shows.
When Disney decided to like get into this, why don't we include music in our shows?
Yeah.
Life-changing decision for them.
Yeah.
Life-changing. I mean, High School Musical came out and they're like,
They came out in the same year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder which one came out first. I think it's High School Musical.
They're both from 2006, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was just completely blown away by Hannah Montana. I was like, oh my God, wait, she's a real girl and a pop star? This is my dream. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Every single day, like you, I would run home to go watch Hannah Montana.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then every time I'm like, I just love that intro. You get the limo out front.
I think that was good. Like one of the best eras of just Disney Channel shows, man.
For sure. Such a good era. I mean, iconic show. Miley's a star. Miley is still a star. Girl can sing. And you know what? Like,
she's a good actor as well.
She's really
she's a good actor.
I think in regards to the singing, she has like that teeny bop kind of voice where she's like pushing really hard and she's really like belting it out there. And it's just been really cool to see how her sound and her voice and her vibe has evolved. I don't know. I know Miley's gotten some flack in the past for experimenting in her music career, but I'm like, let me tell you, I'm a Miley stan. Every single era. Every single era I love of Miley. Like, I even loved when she was on her like black synth, like hip hop vibe. I'm like with some shades.
I wasn't mad at that.
I loved it. I think that Miley is just so fun, so adventurous, and you can really see. I think what is cool about like rewatching Hannah Montana now is that you can kind of see like the seeds for that. You know what I mean? Like, just so goofy, so funny. Let's talk about Lily though, and how she's a social climber.
Yeah, she's a social climber.
Let me tell you, as we've been watching it like recently, I really realized like Lily was for the fame. She wasn't for Hannah. She definitely wasn't for Miley. She was for the fame.
She was always just trying to be in the mix of everything.
She's always trying to go on tour. She's hungry. The way she just be hanging around and shit. It's like, girl, don't you have a home?
Yeah.
Go home to your mom and your daddy. Like, why are you always at your friend Miley's house?
Yeah, just being someone who works in music, I really liked that element of the show. Yeah. Like, even when I was younger, I really liked, like, it was just nice because we hadn't really seen a show like that before.
Yeah.
Or like in that way, like there's been like music based shows, but like that one was just like, it was just different, man. It was funny. Like, the side characters are really good. Like,
to be fair, it's a really great scenario.
Yeah, like Mitchell Musso.
Yeah.
Mitchell Musso, Oliver, Jackson,
hilarious.
Jason Earl. Yeah, for me, Jackson is the funniest person I've ever seen, man.
He's so funny. He's so funny.
Till this day, that shit kills me.
My hot take is I actually think that Mitchell Musso is funnier.
I think. Okay, I don't know about that, but like, I'll say Jackson, the character, is funnier to me than Oliver, the character.
Sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I think the opposite. I actually think that Oliver, the character, is funny than Jackson, the character. But I think that they let Jackson shine more.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Mitchell Musso, that's the one person I think, and as we've been rewatching, that has really like blown me away. Too bad that like things didn't go in... They went a negative direction for him, I would say, because I really think he could have been like a massive star.
Right.
He is so funny, and he kills it in the show. To me, he always steals the scene that whatever he's in. I think he's so hilarious.
Yeah.
And the music. Let's talk about the music. The music is so good.
The music is actually quite good.
Music is so good.
It's good music, and you know, like if you watch like the Hannah Montana movie, like. You just see like the more of the development on all that stuff. You get to see her like perform like some of the songs that are from the series and all that.
Really reminds you of a time when Disney would actually like pay for like crazy songwriters and producers to create like legitimately good music that could legitimately stand on its own.
Yeah,
like,
we've been talking about that like as we watch like more Disney stuff from like those days especially.
Yes.
Like even if like a lot of things are cringe, like the music is on point. Like you know, like
so
with Camp Rock, the
so
whole
good.
movie is just cringe, man.
So
but like
cringe.
the music is fire.
So
like
good.
it's actually good
This
music.
is
like,
real.
Yeah.
This is me.
So like
so good.
Hannah Montana was just like another version of that, but it was a TV show more than just a movie. So it was cool, man.
No, everything is so strong in this show, and like it just really like they really like it. They just nailed it. Like it's so good, and like kind of same thing as That's So Raven. Like rewatching it now, like you only like appreciate it more and everything, and like I think it's so cutesy and fun. Like definitely, like it's interesting how they like. I always say this when we're watching it. Like they definitely like skirt over the realities of being like a child star, right? Like, you know, Miley would have some more to say about like how the house is run because who paying the bills? It's Hannah Montana.
Yeah,
you
but
know what I mean?
he writes all the songs.
But here's the thing, Robbie Ray, by the way, underpaid. Whatever he's getting paid for this, underpaid.
Manager, agent, songwriter, tour manager,
producer,
you know, publicist, PR.
He has everything to that little girl.
Yes, that's his money, man.
And I wonder if that's how things were really in real life at the time. Like, I wonder if like it was really all Robbie Ray who was like figuring out and pushing like or Billy Ray pushing.
I feel like at that point they had a team behind her, man.
Yeah, right. Like I feel like
the
when
point
Disney
that she's
gets
on
involved,
TV,
you know, and
like,
Disney.
yeah, man. Like,
you know what I mean?
It's not just him. Like you need agents to get on TV.
We're not talking about some bullshit commercial.
Yeah.
We're talking about Disney. I think specifically
and it's one of
Disney.
the biggest shows on Disney. So
because you can like fuck around and get a commercial without an agent.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're brokering like a real deal like that, like you have to have people like who know what they're talking about like behind them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Delicious, iconic, amazing.
Right.
What other shows do we got? I mean, there's so many shows.
Well, yeah.
It was so hard to like. I mean, how do you narrow it down to just a couple?
Yeah. I mean, okay. Another one that I think we both like loved a lot was Everybody Hates Chris.
Yes.
If we're kind of keeping in the more children vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with some elevated things, I think this is maybe
exactly.
more
this
like
is more like
adults,
young teenagers.
Kind of
yeah.
Yeah, you know, this show, I think people will be surprised that it made this list for us because I think that it's underrated in the cultural memory.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there are other shows from the era that get more love than Everybody Hates Chris.
I'll say that it's my thinking is that it's because it's a black show.
I even think that there were other black shows at the time that had more love than that. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. For me, I used to watch it all the time. I didn't
same.
I didn't even know it wasn't like no one really talked about it like that.
No, like people talk about it, but I think in general it's underrated. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's not like I feel like if somebody else was doing like a list like this, they wouldn't be like, "Oh yeah, like Everybody Hates Chris." Like, when you think, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. No, it's such a great show. If you're not familiar with what it is, it's basically about Chris Rock. It's a spoof of Chris Rock's upbringing in Brooklyn, New York in the building. Yeah. So it's it's a really great show. I think that we see kind of the introduction to Tyler James Williams, who obviously is now killing on an Abbott, and I really want to see him in more things. I really want him to get like an A24 movie, something that like is edgy and dark. Yeah. I think he would be so great in that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, again, I think shows like this, like sitcoms like that, it's all about the cast chemistry and how each actor possesses and understands each character. Yeah. And I think that Tyler really understood and embodied who Chris was at that time. I think Tashina Arnold killed it as Rochelle. You know what I mean? Everybody, even like Julie, like, everybody knew like what role they were inhabiting.
Yeah. That to me is like the best thing about the show, other than like the writing and the setup and how it works with the narrating. Chris Rock narrating, and it's kind of like a story of his life. I think it's just like the characters, man, and the actors that they chose for the characters.
Yeah.
Like some of the best ones, or Tyler himself, Terry Crews.
By the way, this is Terry Crews' best role.
What's her name? The woman from My Wife and Kids.
No. What's her name?
Her name is Peaches in the show. I forgot.
Yeah, it'll come to us.
Yeah,
it'll come to
yeah,
us.
like there's a lot of people like that. Like just all the characters are really good. Like the guy who always borrows $1 from him. The people at the barber shop.
To your point, even like the side characters are really good.
I feel like they really like created like a little community. Then it's just a great show. It's like you know exactly the setup for the show, how it works.
Yeah.
The humor is really good. Yeah. Oh, we forgot Greg, who is fucking Phineas.
Amazing. Yes,
I didn't know he was Phineas, man.
Did y'all know that? We didn't know. We only learned that like semi-recently.
Yeah.
No, and again, I love a show that like is capturing a culture, a particular time and moment and area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those shows are always really successful to me. And this like the 80s Brooklyn, like hood Brooklyn, like they understood the assignment. Mm. And I wonder, I think, Chris Rock was involved, and so I think that also like plays a big part of it, and he lived that life and lived that experience. And so everything is just, it feels very like rooted in that reality.
Yeah.
Fab show. Mm-hmm. Should we move on to shows that we're excited to get back to?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do it. We have the shows that we love. We have our legacy shows that we adore. But we watching things that are coming out right now, and there are so many shows that we cannot wait to come back for. I'm very intrigued to see how and when we get content in 2024. Obviously, 2023, we had the strike, which lasted for 115 days, something of that neighborhood. And that has had a significant impact on when we get our favorite shows back. So I am just out here and I'm dreaming and I'm scheming. First of all, for me, I know you haven't seen the show yet, but I'm dying. I keep on telling Will, like, let's watch it.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Yellow Jackets? I can't wait for Yellow Jackets.
I hear a lot of people talking about it.
If you haven't seen Yellow Jackets, stop what you're doing right now and go watch it. It is such a great show. It's basically about this this American like high school girls soccer team or football team. They essentially get into this plane crash. Crazy things happen, and that's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you there's gonna be some cannibalism,
some survivor story,
some like maybe some demonic, satanic. And it's great. It's really cool because we jump between two timelines. So it happens. This plane crash happens in the 90s. We then see them in the 2020s. The ones who survived. Ooh.
Yeah.
And how it's impacted their lives, and maybe how some of the ghosts from that time in their lives are reoccurring and coming back in their everyday lives. It's absolutely brilliant.
Nice.
50 out of 10.
I definitely want to watch that soon.
If you like to get spooked, if you like a high intensity, like scary situation, this for you. I love Yellow Jackets. What about you? What show are you looking forward to getting back to?
I'm really looking forward to getting back to The Chi.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've talked about The Chi before.
We sure have.
It's a black show based in the South Side of Chicago.
Yeah.
It's one of those shows that has many, many characters whose lives intertwine, and it's just, that happening over time.
Yeah.
So it's on season 6 right now, which is the final season, right?
Yeah. So we are waiting for like the last, like, what I'm guessing is probably going to be 4 episodes. I don't know, man.
I think it's going to be, okay, yeah.
Let me ask you, how do you feel about like these 2-parter seasons?
I don't like it.
I don't like them either.
Because, okay, sorry, I'll tell you why I don't like it.
No, please.
Like, I don't like it because, first of all, these days, they make so few episodes for TV seasons, right?
Right.
So like it'll be like 10 episodes, sometimes even like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
And so what I don't like about these 2 parts is they'll drop like 5 episodes, and then you're like, oh, okay, that means like there'll be 5 more, but then they'll come with like 1 episode or like 3 or 2, and then the whole season is like 6 episodes or something. And like I don't know, for me, I feel like sometimes when they're trying to end a show, they just start rushing at the end, man. And like I have PTSD from Game of Thrones, so I don't like that.
I have a hard time maintaining my level of caring.
That's what I'm saying. It they wait too long also.
Yeah,
they want it to be like 2 years, and it's like, why? For 10 episodes.
It's not necessary. Like for someone like The Crown, right? That's one of the few instances where I did appreciate the part 2. I think narrative-wise, it made sense, right? Because the first half of The Crown is about of season 6 of The Crown is what I'm talking about. Shout out to all my fellow Crown fans out there. If you want content on that. Knock on my door. So narrative-wise, it made sense because for the last season, the first half of it is about Diana's death, and that's like a whole thing, right? Then the next half of the season is about the aftermath of her death and how it affects the royal family. So it makes sense, right?
Kind of thing
also,
makes sense.
Important to note, part 2 came out like a month later, like 3 weeks later. Yeah. If you're gonna do a part 2, don't make me wait more than like a month.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna have, because honestly, as much as I am excited for The Chi, I first of all barely remember what happened. Also because The Chi is basically like a soap opera, so it's like, everyone's fucking each other's moms and everyone's getting murdered and everyone's dealing drugs. You know how it is. So it's like I don't even know what happened. And so it's like I'm gonna have to basically at some point like rewatch at least like the last episode before now this part 2, and I just feel like it kills the experience. I don't know. Streaming has made watching TV interesting, I think.
Yeah. It really has.
Yeah. What else are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to another one that's on a 2-parter. Is American Horror Story season.
Why did they do that?
Season 12.
Completely and utterly unnecessary. Ryan Murphy.
This one is even more unnecessary.
Yeah.
Because and I know they'll come with 3 episodes.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you want to know why it is, though? It's because these guys, the Ryan Murphy universe is too big now. They're doing way too many things. We got American Crime Story, American Horror Story, American Love Story, American Horror Story.
American Love Story, that exists already, or it's being worked on?
It's supposed to be coming out. I'm guessing that they were probably in production. Then the strike happened, so I'm guessing they're probably finishing it up. But also, I could be wrong. Maybe it's out. I actually, this is the thing. I can't even keep up. It shouldn't be keeping up with the Kardashians. It'd be keeping up with Ryan Murphy.
They're doing too much.
They're doing too much.
It's like with The Walking Dead. They're just having all the spin-offs.
Yeah. Because and also I think, to be fair, I think the content is suffering for it. To be honest, because American Horror Story is getting worse slowly but surely with every season. Okay, let's talk this season. Let's talk about it a little bit. I feel I think Miss Kimberly Kardashian's killing it. I actually think that she's really doing a great job.
To me, her character is what's making this season interesting.
I have to admit, right. I agree.
It's her just being in there and doing the acting and everything that she's doing, that's dope. But also the mystery behind her character.
Yeah,
she's what's keeping it interesting for me. And I like that they chose Kim Kardashian.
And you know what? I don't think Emma's given like that. I don't think Emma's giving like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel no shade to Emma Roberts. I just feel like she's kind of the same every time.
I think that she has gotten the reputation of being the bitch, and I think that her team is actively trying to get her roles that are not the bitch, but she can only pay the bitch. Do what you can do. Right. Sometimes staying in your lane is a good thing. And I think Emma Roberts gives the most when she's that cunty, blonde, ew girl. That's her bag. Yeah. And whenever she deviates, it's not, I'm just ugh.
Her other character in from season 3 and all.
You see what I'm saying? Bitch.
That's
cunt.
To me, I feel like she's better doing that. But yeah, that's what has season 12 interesting for me is Kim Kardashian. So it doesn't have that much going for it. I don't know. No. This show has really dropped off in quality. Yeah. The last 3 seasons.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We're fans, right? We love American Horror Story. Yeah. I'm gonna watch every single season. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But I definitely, it's depreciating over time. Definitely. And I even think they would be better ending that shit now.
They should just stop it. I don't know why they continue doing it.
We don't need a season 13, 14, 15.
Nah.
Especially when you're doing stories. Especially when you're doing crime stories. It's okay. I think we can call it a day on this.
They've gotten everything they could from this idea.
It definitely feels like they're running out of ideas.
They should just leave it.
They should just really truly leave it.
Because season 11 wasn't even scary.
Yeah.
Season 10 was not good.
Yeah.
Season 12, it's
yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We're going to watch it. We'll talk to you. You guys want us to talk about it? Let us know. Let us know. Yeah. Another show that we are super excited about that we actually just watched recently, School Spirits. This show, let me tell you something.
This one's a show, banger.
Banger alert. It's so Good. Also, this show clearly didn't have the marketing budget that it deserves. I don't think that most people know about this show, but
it's such a sleeper.
Banger.
Like, so it's basically this girl dies at school.
Yeah.
And she basically becomes a ghost, and so she's a ghost at the school.
Yeah.
Meets a bunch of other ghosts who died at the school, and it's her trying to figure out how she died.
She's stuck in the school, so all of these spirits, their spirits are stuck in the school for various reasons, right? I think like the suggestion is that they're stuck there for some sort of reason, right? Like they have something tying them to the living world that they have to like process or whatever.
As
and
ghosts do.
Yeah, literally, it's similar to the show Ghosts in that way. We've talked about Ghosts before. Check out our previous episodes if you want to see what we had to say about that.
But yeah, so she's trying to figure out how she died. Clues.
More
you know
clues.
what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's just really cool. So it's just a high school show, but it has this added layer to it, and I think it's so dope. So like this mission of trying to find out how she died is basically what drives the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like brilliant show. The writing is great. The setup is great. The actors are
overall
killing
is
it.
very good.
Yeah.
Like I think from where you go from episode 1 to 10, it's like
It's
like we're
so
not wasting
interesting,
time.
like,
We're moving.
it's
We're
interesting.
we're getting new theories. We're debunking other potential killers. Like we're moving, and I love that. I love that.
You never want to stop watching. Like we ran through it so quickly.
Yeah, we sprinted through the show. So, it's so easy to watch. One thing I really do like about the show is the tone of it. I think it has this kind of like serious but unserious tone that I really think is cool.
Yeah, it's like a subtle comedy kind of. Yeah.
I think that's a calling card of Gen Z content these days. Yeah. Like it's nothing is 100% serious, nothing is 100% unserious.
Right.
It's walking that line, and this show does it on an expert level. This show has moments where you're like, dude, like I'm a little misty-eyed, what the hell? And other moments where you're like legit, like you're like, dude, this is so unserious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that balance is done so expertly in this show, and the ending, this ending, best ending of 2023.
It's a really good ending, man. It's a great like ending to just be like, oh shit, and it's like crazy cliffhanger. And it's been renewed for season 2, so like
obviously, I mean, with a last episode like that, there's no way that you're not getting a season 2. I mean, it knocked me out. We were literally watching it like, yo,
yeah,
it was crazy.
That's like the best show I've watched in 2023. And
period.
Best show.
Period.
Yeah,
they literally
far.
ate that shit up. I'm so sad. I hope season 2 they get a budget.
They
give them money.
They need to get that.
Let her cook.
Yeah.
Let her cook. Let her cook for sure.
All
right. Gosh, there's so many shows that we want to come back. I'm just like, so many are coming to mind. That's another big one.
Obviously, The Bear.
Oh God, yes, chef.
Obviously, The Bear.
Yes,
season
chef.
3, right?
Yes, chef.
Season 3 is coming.
Yes, chef.
Yes,
what?
chef. Cousin.
I love this show. I love everything about this show. I love the chaos. I love Jeremy.
That's what I like
Lights.
most about it.
I love
chaos.
the Chicago. I love Cousin. I love the food. I love everything about it. And The Bear is really interesting. Their season 1 was, you saw the potential. I'm like, I see where you're going. I'm gonna stay with you. Season 2, banger. Right. Now I can't wait to see what they do with season 3. I'm super excited. Now that like the Bear, the restaurant,
it's gonna be good,
is up and running. I really can't wait to see how it's going to affect Carmi and the gang.
Exactly. It's gonna be a whole new dynamics and all that.
That show can even come out in 2025. I'm still there. Yes,
but
chef.
Yeah. What I really like about The Bear is the chaos. Like
chaos.
I love it, man. Like it's just like the camera is all shaky. They're in the kitchen, like everyone's
chaos.
Shouting. Like I love that. It's so interesting to watch, man.
It is panic attack after panic attack.
Yeah.
It's chaos after chaos.
Yeah.
It's catastrophe after catastrophe. I'm like,
it feels like life for real, man. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's palatable because it's a 20-minute show.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like an hour every episode, we would be stressed.
Yeah, it would be
but
a lot.
because it's 20 minutes and you're like, your head is spinning, love it. Have to bring it back. I swear to God, did you see Jeremy Allen White's new Calvin Klein ad? I'm sure you didn't. Maybe.
No, I heard people talking about it, but I didn't see it myself.
I definitely feel like they did that to be like, remember about us now. The Bear's coming back now. Mm-hmm. Even like one of the creators, like right after the strike finished, they like tweeted being like, "We're back. We're back now. We're in the writers' room. Like we cooking. Don't worry." Yeah, literally.
Great show.
I think that's a good place to end, honestly. I think those are really the shows that we are like hungry for. Oh my God, Shrinking. Let's talk about Shrinking. I adore Shrinking. We've talked about this on the show before. Again, if you want to hear our thoughts, you know what to do. Scroll down.
Shrinking is a great show.
Great show.
That's probably my number 2 show that I watched in 2023.
I definitely, I would agree to that. I think it would also be my number 2. And maybe in terms of like new shows. I have the biggest crush on Jason Segel always, but like especially in this show. I think he's so charming. He's so sad. He's so messed up. It's so charming.
It's the perfect show for him, man. Because like he's like the... it just reminds me of the Forgetting Sarah Marshall kind of vibes. He has that like, he's just funny, but he's sad, but he's funny. This
is even like an elevated version, I would even say, of that. Like
exactly. Because it's more serious. Yeah, it's more serious.
It's complicated feelings, right? Like when, like a loved one dies. Like it's complicated feelings. And they're handled so beautifully. I think Harrison Ford is clearly having the time of his life on this show. He never gets to be funny. He's obviously having so much fun. I even think Jessica James, who plays the other therapist in the practice.
Yeah.
Black girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even think that she's really... I think it's a great ensemble. I think it's a really charming,
my boy,
really endearing...
Who's the old dude again?
Harrison Ford, right. Sorry. Yeah.
Right, Harrison Ford.
No, I think it's a really charming ensemble show. If you haven't seen it and you're looking for a sitcom comedy to run through, this is a great show to check out. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Shrinking's actually a really good note to end it on.
Yeah.
Charming, delicious, lovely. Check it out.
Right.
All right. Take us home, Wilson.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As usual, we love to get your opinions on everything that we've talked about. Like, what are shows that you guys want to come back that you're really excited about, or even just shows that were canceled that you're sad about?
Yeah, and as always, follow us on all social media platforms at MovieBuffsKE. We love you. See you next time.
See you guys.